Hello, I get a lot of questions concerning the mineral calcium. Calcium is a very important mineral for our bodies to be totally healthy. Calcium has many functions in the body. One of the most important functions you may know of for calcium is the bones. It's very important for bone health. But calcium is also very important for the heart. It allows the heart to pump. As a matter of fact, the heart is a muscle, and calcium allows all the muscles in the body to contract. When a muscle contracts, you're able to move better with it, so the heart gets better circulation when it has proper amounts of calcium. But calcium is also very important for all the cells of the body. Every cell needs calcium and it's like the calcium acts like a doorway to allow different nutrients to get in and out of the cell. There are these calcium channels, we call them, to allow different nutrients to get in and out of the cell. So calcium is very important for all the cells. So how much calcium do we need? Well, the average person needs about 800 to about 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. But most people, if you take the right calcium, you have to take less, or you can take less, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But calcium not only is important for many things in the body, there are ratios and relationships of calciums to other minerals and other nutrients. For example, calcium is very important together with phosphorus. Calcium and phosphorus are what make up most of the bones. So in other words, for your bones to be really healthy, we need both calcium and phosphorus. And there's a certain ratio in the body. There's in the blood system, when we read your blood work, we look at calcium. Calcium should be around 10 and phosphorus should be around 4. So we say that's a 10-to-4 ratio. 10 parts calcium, 4 parts phosphorus. If you have too much calcium relative to your phosphorus, the calcium will deposit in your soft tissues like your joints and your knees and your knuckles, and you'll get arthritis. And extra calcium can also form cataracts in your eyes. And of course, calcium is involved in not only on osteoporosis, but it is involved in osteoporosis, but calcium is also involved in the veins and arteries, specifically the arteries. When a person has a heart attack and they got a blockage in their artery, that blockage contains calcium. That means that the body has too much calcium, or there's an imbalance of calcium in the body because of the other minerals that are out of balance. So I mentioned calcium needs phosphorus to be balanced, a 10-to-4 ratio. Calcium also needs vitamin D, the proper amounts of vitamin D. The best amounts of vitamin D to take in the body, when you look at a blood test, your optimum amounts of vitamin D for an average man or a woman, an adult, is about 50 to 60 micrograms in the blood. So if your vitamin D levels are 50 to 60, you're in the right spots, right sweet spot there, we say, in your blood for the vitamin D. That's very important for the calcium to absorb well with that. Too much vitamin D, more than 50 to 60 of vitamin D in your blood, will cause calcium to deposit in your soft tissues. I forgot to mention too that extra calcium, can also cause kidney stones. So we don't want to mess with too much calcium or too much vitamin D or not enough vitamin D. Not enough vitamin D will also cause your calcium not to work well. So you want to have the vitamin D, again, between 50 and 60 on your blood test. Magnesium is also crucially important. In the blood system, we like to have magnesium around 2. And even if the magnesium blood goes to like 1.9 or 1.8, which is not that far off from 2, but that little change in your magnesium in your blood will cause you to have severe calcium problems. And what happens is when the minerals in your blood are out of balance, when there's an improper calcium amount, there's improper phosphorus, there's improper vitamin D, what it'll do is it'll summon or call to the thyroid, or actually really the parathyroid gland, to make more of its chemicals, its hormones. And then you start to get into a lot of more physical problems when you start to have long-term calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, or phosphorus imbalances. That will cause your parathyroid to either get hyperactive or hypoactive, too fast or too slow. And we don't want that either. So we want to have a balance. So what type of calcium is the best? The best calcium you can buy in a supplement form is going to be calcium lactate. Why? Because calcium lactate, let me back up. Calcium needs a chaperone to absorb in your body. All minerals need a chaperone. So the chaperones are typically certain types of acid. So calcium to lactate is lactic acid. That's a good bond called calcium lactate. Calcium carbonate, carbonic acid, calcium carbonate. calcium citrate, calcium bonded to citric acid, calcium citrate. Again, there's other ones too, calcium glycinate or bisglycinate, but a calcium malate, but chelated calcium. Chelated calcium is actually pretty good too. Chelated is a Greek word that means claw. So it grabs on to the calcium, the amino acids or the proteins in the supplement of calcium in the calcium chelate form is very easily absorbed too. But the best one, again, is calcium lactate. And how much do you need of calcium lactate? I mentioned before that you need about 600 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. But if you take calcium lactate, because it's so well absorbed, you don't need to take as much. So take about 400 to 600 milligrams of calcium lactate per day. Here's another trick. Take the calcium lactate first thing in the morning on an empty stomach before you eat, about a half an hour, along with a glass of fresh squeezed lemon, a half a lemon, and a glass of water. That acid in the lemon helps the calcium absorb better. You can also use that with apple cider vinegar. A teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and a glass of water, along with your calcium supplement pills, will help the calcium absorb very well. Okay? Hope that answers your questions of calcium. And we'll have some more things like this coming up in the near future. Please subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Aaron Chadwick, part of the Nutrition Physicians, and like us, please, if you can, and subscribe to us and follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. And we're going to be out here more answering all your questions. If you have any comments, please do that. If you have any further questions or other topics you want to hear me talk about, please also include that in your comments. Okay. Anyway. So long for now. See you guys next time. God bless and have a great night. Bye.